Welcome to At the Table,
where we are connecting entrepreneurs, discovering missions, and building communities with purpose, body, soul, mind, and business with
Charlie
and Heather with Free Time Solutions.
Good morning and welcome to the table. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Heather, and it's Mindset Monday.
Monday again, and
we get to choose and decide.
Mm-hmm.
And these books, telling you all, bringing some stuff up for me, definitely. And they're so good.
Yeah,
I'm really digging the new one.
The new one.
And it pairs great with the end of
the Voice of
Knowledge.
Yeah. And this is our first Mindset Monday of season 9. Every quarter we start a new season. So season 9 of our podcast.
That's really
I think
exciting.
Season 1 was like the whole first year. And then we've been doing it quarterly since then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So
that's pretty awesome.
Bam. Thank you for hanging out with us on this Mindset Monday. Are we ready? Let's start with the Voice of Knowledge, because I feel like this is just
we just really enjoy learning from Don Miguel Ruiz.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to hear a little bit about his mom this week.
A little bit. So I am finishing up reading this book on our YouTube channel. I am recording it, but I am not recording myself reading both of them.
The chapters in Love People Use Things Because the Opposite Never Works are very long.
They're like 40 pages.
So they have like writing assignments and
other things. It's just not a good fit to read them to you. No. But this week we're talking about how Don Miguel Ruiz had his spiritual eyes opened, so to speak. The name of the chapter this week is Opening Our Spiritual Eyes, and it's chapter 11 of Reality of Love All Around Us. So what happened was he fell asleep at the wheel and was in a car accident and nearly died. And he had at that moment, his first out-of-body experience. Some people call it their experience of heaven or nirvana or light, or whatever that is, because there's no real way to explain what that is other than if you've had that experience yourself. Mm-hmm. It's that experience where you see yourself separate from your body, right?
So I was in a car accident when I was 19. Mm-hmm. This wasn't the first car accident. Yay. And I went into shock, and I could see myself on the stretcher. Mm-hmm. So it's those moments of like, what is happening here?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think it clarifies the perspective that we are not our body.
Yeah.
Right. You see yourself, even in your own mind, as your body. When you close your eyes and you think of who am I, you probably see what would be a mirror reflection of yourself, right?
Then there's all those things like body dysmorphia, but that's not what we're talking about.
That's not what we're talking about.
We're talking about we're not seeing ourselves as the energy that's taking up the physical body.
Correct. Yeah.
Right? So we're not seeing our energy flow, the flow of what actually makes us us.
Right. Ooh. And he talks about his mom a little bit in this chapter, because she was the one that started referring to this out-of-body experience, or the separateness from yourself, from your body, as the dreaming. It's like that lightness that you feel right before you fall asleep. Right?
That delicious part.
Yeah.
It's so nummy.
And how to, some people use meditation to do this. I don't recommend being on the edge of your life and practicing that.
No.
Don't do
That's
that.
not what we're talking about.
But in meditation or in these moments of bliss, it's this like weightlessness. It's this euphoria. It's the like, and sitting in that place of inner peace. I've been able to do it more and longer through practice and using other tools. Like we went to Seattle and floated in space pods.
Those are so cool.
It is so cool. I call them space pods, but
they're really cool.
They look like big white jelly beans.
They do.
And it's just a couple inches of water, and it's salt water in there, and it's the same temperature.
You're buoyant because there's that much salt.
Yeah.
So and it's interesting, that feeling of water versus the air, because you're right, it is the same temperature. I didn't even process that.
So the line where the water and the air like touch your skin, you kind of have to focus to feel it.
Yeah.
But that's really all you feel is the line. You don't feel the wetness or the dryness because it's humid in the pod, but you can have the lights off. You can have little stars going on the ceiling. You can have it lit up in blue. You can listen to music or not. I usually don't. But it's a pretty rad experience. Highly recommended if
you haven't tried it. Here in the Seattle area, it's called Seattle Float.
Yeah. I actually was struggling. I actually went last weekend with my husband to go float, and I had been struggling with all the noise in my head, with everything. There's a lot of different things going on, and I was literally in tears the day before because there's so much, right? I was hitting overstimulated, overwhelmed. So first thing in the morning, we went floating. Super helpful. Helped calm my brain chatter down so that I can actually see the answers without it being cluttered.
Well, and I was thinking about it too, like how could you access some of that at home? And I was like, well, that's why we do Epsom salt bath. Right?
Yeah.
This is like Epsom salt bath, like
also salt,
right?
Salt itself is a grounding element.
Yes.
It's a neutralizing element.
Yeah.
So
like there's so many layers to it, and there's books about it too. I'm interested in reading them, but I'm kind of full at the moment. I've got those really good books going on, and I'm like,
so back on track. Sorry. So those things, those moments of peace and tranquility, and how to seek those. The points to ponder this week are: there is another reality right here and now, and it is more than the reality of light and sound that we normally perceive. In this reality, we can perceive the reflection of emotions coming from every object. In this reality, what is real is our love. Because when you are doing everything with, for, and in response to love, with love, you will be amazed.
And it feels really good.
It does feel really good. I'm going to read one more of these. The energy of love is just like the light that comes from the sun. Like sunlight, the emotion of love looks different depending on what is reflecting the love.
Oh.
So that's your little point to ponder, to chew on for a little bit. Go ahead and pick up your copy. Okay.
They come in a box set, just easier. Get them all.
Just get them all, read them all. Okay.
Read them with your family. It's life-changing.
Yeah. Or even just talking about it with your family is life-changing. My whole family has shifted over the last couple of years. And
then as we
communication
make that shift, then our family makes the shift too, even if they're not reading it, right? Because we're not picking stuff up, we're just responding differently.
Yeah, it's part of that do as I say, not as I do. Yeah, not that.
The opposite of that.
What actually happens is like your kids will pick up on your habits, good, bad, or indifferent.
Right. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's it's interesting when it gets reflected back to you that someone else sees it. Like, oh, I see this in a different way.
Yeah.
Right. So chapter 1.
Chapter 1 of love people, use things, because the opposite never works.
And chapter 1's about stuff, our relationship with our stuff.
Our relationship with our stuff.
It's interesting, right?
Right.
As I was preparing for this, I was watching a little bit of different kinds of hoarders shows. And one was just like people's like big, massive collections that are overtaking their house. And this lady's clothes was like her own boutique. Like she had so many clothes, right?
Right.
And so just like that relationship we have, you can't possibly wear all of that. Like,
right.
So, and and so I thought that was a good preparation for my brain for this and my purging in my home too.
Some of the stats that they threw out in this book just kind of blew my mind. Like I believe it was this chapter, but it seems to be like 80% of our material possessions is just stuff taking up space.
Right. We're like, it's not. And so as they were kind of looking into what we're calling minimalism, they kind of break down some of the wording, and they talk about how there's this overwhelm that's kind of normal for some reason, that and people are miserable and their sex life is non-existent, their careers are unfulfilling, they hide purchases from their significant others, they lie to each other about their spending, they ignore their own creative desires, they're not in touch with themselves, they take their relationships for granted, and then you tend to grow petty and resentful.
Right. I see this happening.
Right. And then we're ashamed of who we become. Like, doesn't that sound like why anybody gets divorced? Like that right there, like, there you go.
There's a cycle.
Right. So basically we're overwhelmed by the things that we have around us. And then minimalism is how we get out of it.
Yeah.
And I liked this, that when people are getting into minimalism, they're looking at people that are, ahead of them on the trail. They were living deliberate, meaningful lives. They were passionate and purpose driven, and they seemed much richer than any of the so-called rich people she'd encountered before. And they all attributed their meaningful lives to this thing called minimalism.
Right. It's more than just stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's our relationship with the stuff. And like, as Americans, like, some of the stats about Americans and their obsession with stuff leaves me going, oh God.
And I mean, it does stem from
It's kind of shocking.
the Great Depression, where we needed to hold on to things. But when we didn't need to hold on to things, we didn't stop.
Right. And then
everything's shifted, right? So now we're looking for that quick fix because we're not happy with ourselves.
Right. We're trying to fill the void, but the void is within us and not in our home with our stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So as you practice minus the dumpster fire, I like anything that has a dumpster fire, right, when you're reading it. This book made me laugh, so it's entertaining for as in depth as it is, right? Very straight, very authentic feeling.
It's conversational. It feels conversational,
right? So even though the chapters are long, they're broken up pretty well, so you can take a break as you're digesting some of the information. I
like what he says about freedom. Like, our image of freedom and the American dream is like have a house, 2 cars, 5 kids, and stuff,
student loans and stuff. And
right?
so you need to work
So
3.5 jobs in order to pay for it.
his challenge is when you think about freedom, you often think of doing whatever you want, whenever you want. Whatever, whenever. Can you pick up right now and go do whatever you want because you feel like it?
I feel like this is kind of that tiny house movement, right?
Right.
Like if I have less things,
right.
and I take up less space, I get to do the things I want to do.
And your carbon footprint's smaller and it's like a whole thing,
Yeah.
right?
Oh.
This is what our coach Jackie talks about when she talks about the freedom life, right?
Yes.
And she's an RV adventurist, and she's living a minimalist lifestyle so she can live fully in life.
I don't think that she would say, I've never heard her say she's minimalist, and I don't think I even thought about it until I read this chapter,
Right.
that she is living that kind of a lifestyle.
Yeah. But she wouldn't call
But
herself
it's about freedom
yeah.
to do what she wants to do.
Right.
And it's about the freedom of her heart and what she's
right.
here to do.
Right. Because she's let go of everything else.
Yeah.
Her attachments to everything else already.
Embodied.
Embodied.
Yeah. Okay.
So it doesn't mean you have to go live in an RV or a tiny house.
No,
but just really think about the energy you're bringing into your house and let go of things that are no longer serving you, even if it's things.
And they talk about like how to do it.
Yeah.
That's what I like. This book isn't just like talking to you about just have less stuff, but it's about
giving you the tools to do it.
So one of the first rules is the no junk rule.
Everything you own can be placed in 3 piles: essential, non-essential, and junk. Since most of our needs are universal, only a few things belong in the essential pile: food, shelter, clothing, transportation, vocation, education. In an ideal world, the majority of your stuff would fit in the non-essential pile, meaning you don't need a couch or a dining table, but they're worth owning because they enhance your life, right? But sadly, most all the other things will fit in the junk pile. The artifacts you like or miraculously think you like. He challenges you to really ask yourself these questions when you're going through your stuff.
Right. And I like this because this is an individual thing, right? And this could be something like, I feel like I've been working on the decluttering for a long time, and I'm still amazed how much I come up with to declutter, right? Like as I'm doing my process and going more and deeper in, I see I'm ready for this now, right? Like I'm ready for the next level of tools, right? So I'm excited. Yeah. I hope you're excited too.
So the next piece he talks about is how, as you're going through this process, things will come up. You will want to buy stuff and you'll try to justify it for yourself.
I mean, as we do, right? I mean, we're going to figure out, is this a need, a want, like, but I did like this down here.
A Rolex won't buy you more time. I also like how I call it a cost benefit analysis. He looked at how much do you make per hour and how much is it time is that worth to you, because you're trading dollars for time no matter what.
Yeah.
Right.
So then when you buy something, is it going to bring that much value into your life?
Right. If you make $15 an hour and a cheeseburger is $15, you worked an hour for that cheeseburger. Is it really worth it?
Or is it better to go to the grocery store and spend $15 and have, 4 or 5 cheeseburgers at the end, right? Like,
right. And I always ask myself when I go to buy something, is this X amount worth of awesome?
I like that one.
Is this is like this shirt, say it's $10, right? Is this $10 worth of awesome to me? Yeah. So anyway, my little tip for the day.
And then they go in to talk about how advertising has become so normalized
Yeah.
to us, especially here in the US.
Yeah.
And even so I was, we're in advertising, so this was like juicy, yummy stuff from our brains.
Worldwide spending on advertising has topped $500 billion per year. Trillion.
And then in the book they wrote out the full number so you could see how many commas that really is. Like, so write out $500 billion. Freak, it's a big number.
Yeah, there's like 4 commas there. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 3.
So there's money out there, right? Like, let's like
they're in it for the money.
First off, second off, they are in it for money. Like,
yeah, they want you to believe you need their
have
thing.
Like a million, like
they're not good for
ingredients, right? It's a potato. It should be a potato, right? Like, it's a ton. They put a ton of ingredients in there,
right?
So their whole advertising is to get you to eat the fry. That's not just a potato, right? Like, just like
correct.
So, and then they do that by billboards, commercials, like
they pull at your feelings and emotions to get you to buy their stuff. McDonald's uses the facade that they're fun.
Right.
McDonald's is fun. It's an easy way to grab a meal on the way home for the kids, or, they make it more about the lifestyle associated with McDonald's than
I did not mean to talk about McDonald's. It's not in the book. Sorry.
But, I find it really interesting that the United States is the only country in the world allowed to advertise pharmaceuticals. Let me say that again. The United States is the only country in the world allowed to advertise pharmaceuticals.
It's freaking crazy.
The campaign for Viagra took a relatively flaccid problem and created a raging $3 billion per year market for a blue pill. That's how it's written in the book. I find that hilarious. But $3 billion a year for a little blue pill that was actually made to treat something completely different. Yeah, something completely different. But then when they found out that it had this awesome side effect, they decided to market it differently and advertise it differently, right?
So advertising drugs.
Yeah.
Legal drugs.
Yep.
So our next rule for minimalism is just in case rule.
The just in case rule. Here he talks about how you might want to have a few things that you don't necessarily need all the time for just in case. Think of it like a small toolbox with a hammer and a screwdriver.
Those are like essential things,
right? Like, they're essential and just in case.
Yeah.
But then there's stuff that you're keeping just in case. Like, you have 12 sets of sheets for your bed. Do you need 12 sheets? You can't have all 12 sets of sheets on your bed at the same time.
It's just in the pee here.
I
don't know.
I would beg to argue that really you only need 2. One in the wash and one on your bed.
Right. And
even then,
you can get away with one.
You can get
1 or 2 is like
plenty,
right?
And I'm just using that as an example.
Just an example.
Right.
And I liked his 2020 rule. So he's like, if it's an item that's $20 or less, and you can get it within 20 minutes of your home, if you needed it, could you let this item go and only get it if you need it?
Right. I like that.
I was like, dude.
Anything you really actually need in life, I'm sure you could find on Facebook Markets for less than $20. Right?
Right.
Let's be real. People are getting rid of stuff all the time.
Or even for free.
Goodwill, Value Village.
Yeah.
Right? You don't need to buy things brand new either. So I found that really cool.
So there was an experiment where
Sao Paulo
didn't allow
billboards.
That's really interesting.
In 2007, Sao Paulo introduced its Clean City Law, where more than 15,000 billboards were taken down. To boot, an additional 300,000 intrusive signs, pylons, posters, bus, and taxi ads had to go. The strangest result in ridding the world's third largest city of these advertisements. In a poll done after the removal, a majority of the Palo Santos people actually preferred the change. What a novel idea. Ask people what they like instead of letting profitability dictate the city view.
Boom.
There are cities throughout the United States that do not allow billboards. They're few and far between. I mean, even here locally in town, there's a farm next to a billboard and they have no light pollution signs next to the giant light up
Billboards like,
next door.
Hey, this isn't good.
Right. Yeah. I feel like those giant light up billboards, especially at night when you're driving, are super distracting.
Very distracting.
And it's like watching a TV commercial as you're driving down the road. Like, you're not supposed to look on your phone. Why are you looking at the billboard? Right?
That seems too logical to me.
Right. Minor details. So, but we have accepted ads into our everyday life. So pay attention to what that looks like for you. I actually don't have cable and haven't had cable in like 15 years.
Right.
So I don't get advertised to do in that manner, but when I'm listening to music, there's advertisements. When I'm scrolling Facebook, there's advertisements. When I'm on my phone, there's advertisements.
Getting advertisements everywhere else, right?
Yeah.
Like choosing. And they talk about those subscriptions now that let you choose not to have advertisements.
Right.
That's why it's appealing.
Yeah. More people are paying for subscriptions to not get advertised to.
Half a trillion dollar business.
Yeah.
And part of that is that people don't want to be advertised to. It's pretty crazy. So I really like at the end of this chapter, there's like
6. Oh, they have
6
a bunch
questions
of
to ask
different things.
before buying,
Uh-huh.
along with then also like how to apply this into our own lives.
Yes.
And I love this because they broke it down into like 3 different like options to like give you ideas.
Yep.
And then
where to start,
like
depending on where you
do you want to do your whole freaking house and pack it up like you're moving and then see what you actually use.
Do you want to do a couple of rooms at a time, or do you just want to focus on one space?
I thought that was really respectful too. Like, there's a story in here about like the girlfriend and the boyfriend. He was not able to do that with his like clothes, right? So they packed up everything but his clothes, right? So respecting each other's boundaries with this, because it's hard. This is a hard process.
It is a hard process.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be crying at all.
He talks about the do's and don'ts of stuff, right? And to finish out the chapter, like, understand your benefits, establish your rules, create your stuff budget.
I like it.
Yeah. Relinquish your stuff and find your support. Because you know what? If you're doing this by yourself, and good on you, but it's
really hard to be your own leader.
Yeah.
And the accountability piece is the difference.
Right. It keeps you motivated. Yeah.
Because not everyone's going to be Heather and Charlie.
Right.
Right. So, and we don't expect you to be us.
Right.
Like,
maybe you have a bestie who can be your accountability partner. Maybe your bestie shouldn't be your accountability partner.
Yeah, really.
Set yourself good boundaries. Maybe your accountability partner for this is a professional organizer or something.
Ooh,
right?
Yeah.
So
we know
think outside the box.
Reach out. The truth is that if you aren't happy with yourself, no thing will make you happy.
No thing.
No thing.
Nothing is going to fill that void.
So you're already enough. And if you've been watching for any time, you should know that. Now it's applying that, right?
Mhm.
Like, how does that look in our lives?
Mhm. Be your beautiful self.
Mm.
We love you. We wish you the best. And
Tuned for the new cause of the quarter.
Coming up next.
Namaste.
Mwah.
As entrepreneurs, we have a unique opportunity to make a positive impact in the world around us. In a time when the world is shifting towards supporting local businesses and embracing community-driven initiatives, it becomes even more important for us to give where our heart leads us. At the table, we believe in the power of giving back, and that's why we have our cause of the quarter. This quarter, we are proud to support Perfect Pals, a local organization dedicated to rescuing and providing care for stray cats in our community. By supporting local causes like Perfect Pals, we not only make a difference in the lives of those in need, but we also contribute to the growth and well-being of our local community. We believe in small acts of kindness, and they can create a ripple effect of positivity, inspiring others to do the same. As we shift our focus solely from supporting large corporations to championing local businesses and giving back, we not only strengthen our community, but we also foster a sense of connection and unity. Together, we can create a thriving ecosystem where everyone can flourish. So let's follow our hearts and give where it truly matters. Join in supporting Perfect Pals and making a difference in the lives of these furry companions. Together we can make our community a better place, one act of kindness at a time. Thank you for being part of our journey and for embracing the spirit of giving together. Let's create a brighter future for all. Are you tired of juggling endless tasks, struggling to find time for what truly matters? We have the solution for you. Introducing Free Time Solutions, your ultimate partner in reclaiming your time and maximizing your potential. At Free Time Solutions, we specialize in helping businesses like yours thrive in a digital world. From social media management to website optimization and branding, we have the expertise to elevate your online presence and streamline your operations. Imagine having time to focus on what you love to do while we take care of your business. With our dedicated team of experts and innovative solutions, we leave you free to pursue your passions and achieve your goals. Whether you are a small business owner, entrepreneur, freelancer, we offer comprehensive services tailored to your needs. Our goal is simple: to give you back time, freedom to do what you do best while we handle the rest. So join us at the table and let Free Time Solution empower you to take control of your time and unlock your full potential. Visit our website at www.yourfreetimeback.com. That's www.yourfreetimeback.com to learn more and schedule your consultation today. Free Time Solutions, your partner in success. Let's make the most of your free time together. Thank you for joining us at the table. Stay tuned for weekly readings on Sunday, Mindset Monday, discussing our weekly readings on Monday, and on Friday, our interview and potentially guest hosts. Stay tuned.
Thank you for joining in on the fun. Be sure to like and subscribe for more.